So in the back of the van, this felt padding that's on the bottom is original to the van, and man, it's got to go. We got our battery box area here. We're gonna have to redo all this wiring and reprioritize all this space. But the first thing we're gonna do is take all of this off, find some cheap flooring, and redo all of this so it's spill proof, waterproof, oil proof, stain proof, and smell proof. Let's get this out. So I'm going to remove this third leg that can be used for the awning, and I'm just going to store this at home because I've never used it. I don't think I ever will. And the retention clips that are underneath here seem to catch on everything. Another thing I'm going to relocate here is the jack system. Now it's stored in the back here, right in front of the light. This I'm going to store inside one of the drawers underneath here that I don't access often, as I keep this a bed all the time and not as a table. And this space will be much better utilized for... All right, we're going to start removing this felt near the battery compartment, and we're just, I'm going to pull this all out. Yeah. Next up, we're coming to the back seam, and we're going to remove this long piece of chrome. Red Robertson screws. We'll get these out. Oh, my mistake. It's green Robertson, not red. So we'll take our green Robertson. All right, now that we have that chrome trim, removed, now that we've removed the screws from the chrome trim, we can lift it out easily, and we're going to give that a nice buff and cleaning. And that will leave the edge of your carpet exposed. While it has been glued down, you should be able to just pull it right out. Oh, wear a mask. Now before we pull the rest of this carpet out, I'm going to remove the jack and transfer it over into that drawer. The jack is firmly in place there, and it's held in by a clip, which I can't get to unscrew. So we'll just pull it till it comes out. And look at that. It's got a nice little, oh, that's nice. It's got a nice little rack to hold all the arms and everything, and all of this is gonna go into that drawer. Huge space saver here. How am I gonna get that out? Okay. Screw out. And I believe there's two 10mm bolts that we're gonna have to take out that mounting bracket. So what I've done here is I've taken my 10mm socket, put it on an adapter so I can put it on my impact, and then that way it could reach all the way in there and undo those bolts. And they're not 10, they're 13mm. Son of, oh, the drill goes down. That's fine. So it wasn't 10 or 13, it's lucky number 11. All right, let's get those guys out of there. 1 and 2. Good. All right, so here's our whole jack setup. It's got a nice little wall mounting bracket, tie rod arms, all the extenders, and the jack itself. And we're gonna take all these guys and put them in the drawer up at the front a little later. For now, we're just gonna get them out of the way so we can tear out the rest of this carpet. And we'll pull this up. Make sure you don't breathe this stuff in. All right, now that we've got this all cleaned out under here, you got the wood all exposed, vacuumed. We're gonna get some laminate flooring, put it on top here, get it sized out. We'll have to measure how many square feet we need. And then we're also gonna continue that flooring over top of this cover so it's all nice and matched. And then we're gonna figure out what to do with the things and the stuff and the electrics, and one step at a time. So we're here at the Home Depot looking for some flooring, and there's a couple key metrics you want to look for here. You want something light, you want something thin, and most importantly, you want something cheap. And one case should do it. Let's get her home. So now we got our flooring, we got our area prepped and ready to go. Let's see how this stuff looks unboxed. Well, at first glance, I am loving the look of this. This is so much brighter, cleaner, neater. Geez, it's gonna look great. Let's get some more boards out. Let's get this set up. Now, while installing this type of flooring, you can just use an X-Acto knife to cut this stuff. It's super thin, and that's exactly what you want to have in the RV. You don't want anything heavy, anything that's going to absorb water. Thin plastic, perfect. So I got my jigsaw out to do some cuts. I got my boards ready to go. First thing we're going to do is put in this front row, get that lined up and nice and even with this seam. Then we're going to come back, put the chrome trim back on, pre-drill holes, put the screws back in to hold that in, and then we'll install moving back, and we'll make all the cuts we need to for the sides and that awkward back wall. So as I'm laying down this first row, first problem of course, you get to the end here and we have a 1-inch gap. Now I don't want to put a little single piece in the corner. It's not very stable, not a good idea. So what I'm going to do is cut one piece in half. I'll start that off on this side. That'll offset it, and then I'll cut this piece as well. And whatever offcut I get, I can use that to start the second row to offset the joints. Now that we have the first two lined up in our first row, we're gonna get to this awkward piece. This is gonna be the one we're gonna have to make a special cut for. Taking off the lid for the battery compartment. This next piece will continue on, and we're gonna have to cut it around this frame. And then afterwards, we're gonna put those pieces on the back of the lid. So to do this piece here, first thing you want to do is cut it to length to the wall, then put it in over top, trace from underneath with a pencil, cut that out and put it in. It's easy as, see, no problem. Got that piece in, got the piece cut for the lid, got the chrome piece dry fitted back in there. We're gonna have to re-drill all these holes and get the screws in. So after getting this first row of boards in, you can see here that I put 2 screws in to hold it down on the edge. I'll give you one guess which one I pre-drilled and which one I didn't. Lesson learned. We're making some great progress in here. Now it's getting to the tricky part. When you get to this join area here, your best bet, take a piece of paper, place it in there, make yourself a template. Then after you cut this distance, you can place the template on top of your partially cut piece here, and you can find that angle. Hopefully we'll get it right the first time. Just noticed something here. It's probably going to make a good reminder for you guys. Watch your edges. I put the wrong edge on this edge. So the pieces, take that piece, put it on another piece, flip the piece out of the bottom, and then trace it, and the cut, it's going to, give me a sec. Alrighty, now that we got the right edge on this board, let's see how it fits. I need both hands. Hold on a second. Alright, let's see how this goes here. Get her all lined up. Make sure there's nothing underneath the board to act as an obstruction. Would you just, can you, all right. That came out nicer than I thought. Little motivation. Yeah. That came out very nice. All right, we just got to get this little area here done and we're good. Hey. Well, we made a heck of a mess, but it's looking pretty awesome. Now while I'm in here, I'm thinking, hey, I got a few leftover pieces. Might as well just use these on all these back walls here so it's all the same color. So to install these back wall pieces, I'm going to use some flex glue and these little brad nails that I found to tack them in, and this is going to be the main source of support for those guys. I think it's going to look amazing when it's all the same color. It's going to be so much brighter in here. All right, let's get these guys put in. This one's backwards. Nice. Damn it. Again. Alright, so it's supposed to go like that. Nope, that is, dude, that is the wrong piece. Jeez Louise. Or, oh. You put it the wrong way. 3 times. 3 times the wrong way before you figured it out. Okay, maybe it's time for a break soon. All right, well, I've been working on this for the last 3 or 4 hours, but we went from this to this. I think it was time very well spent. Day 2. All right, so we got the back of the van all done. Looks awesome. Just got to finish this one wall here. Then we're gonna take out this speaker, and I got a plan. I'm gonna use those wires, extend them up and over, and put a couple speakers up in the back here and here, and that's gonna free up a bit of room. I'm still deciding whether I'm gonna put the batteries here. There's 2 of them. One fits in the cabinet underneath, but I still gotta figure out where I'm gonna put the other one. Am I better to put it closer to this battery back here, but having so much weight right at the back of the van, or am I better off to have it here, almost over the wheel well, but it's a little further from the other bat? Well, we'll see. That's next episode. Stay tuned. I'm also thinking, so seeing as this looks so great without the carpet, I'm thinking the best plan is to take this carpet out as well. Got another box of flooring. Let's finish this and then let's see how that goes. All right, first we're gonna clean up all the dirt and dust out of there, and then we are gonna put 2 more pieces of flooring on this wall, cover that up. Then we can start taking the carpet out from underneath the table in the back here. All right, one thing at a time. Let's get these boards up. There we go. Oh, looks way better. Nice. All right, let's get these guys glued in, and we're gonna do this back corner as well. And that'll be it for the trunk. There we go, number 1. I got that top piece glued in here. Just like that. All right, dry in peace. All right, first thing we gotta do when you're gonna replace this carpet in your Roadtrek is you gotta take the drawers out, preferably take the cover off the electrical panel, pull out your CO2 detector if it's still working. And I just realized there's another speaker here. Ooh, I'm gonna have to rewire that guy too. Start with the drawers. They'll slide out, and then on the sides here on the track, there's little release levers, little plastic things. You push them, and then the whole drawer will come out. Oh my, what the hell? Clean that later. Okay, this is gonna become the new home for my jack and all the rods and tire irons that come with it. I'm gonna put a piece of foam insulation on the bottom, custom carve them so that all the pieces fit nice and snug and there won't be any rattling around or noise. Also gonna put some emergency water, poncho, extra flashlight, just some emergency supplies in here. This will be the I hope I don't ever have to open it drawer. Because I leave this as a bed all the time and never have it set up as a table, I really want to use this storage here and here for stuff that I hope I don't have to take out. I like to keep my laundry under here, my lawn chair. All right, let's get the rest of these drawers and things up so we can get this carpet out of here. We're gonna grab our X-Acto knife. Whatever we did with that. Oh man. Spent half the day working, half the day looking for tools. Minimum. Minimum. That'll be somewhere special so I wouldn't. Oh, is it in my back pocket? No. My front pocket? No. What the hell? Seriously now. I don't know where I put my X-Acto knife. And I'm kind of loose. Where the hell? Oh, it's got to be in here. It's got to be in here. Oh, there it is. See? Underneath the drawer. For God's sakes. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a cut right down the middle here and then just pull the carpet out from each side. You're gonna want to cut it all the way top to bottom. And it's not too bad to take out so far. You're just gonna be pulling this out. It kind of comes right out from the end. This one was glued, but thankfully not too well. Okay, I'm gonna need 2 hands. We'll be right back. All right, so we're just tearing up our floor from the middle to the outside. Comes up pretty easy. Oh, I should have worn a mask. And we're pulling. There, got half of it out. Ugh. Salty. It's probably from the East Coast trip. Same thing here, just pulling it out. And if you need to, feel free to grab a pair of pliers to grab it at the end so you're not hurting your hands. And just keep pulling, and it'll all come right out. And that is it for this disgusting mole spore holding carpets. Let's get the vacuum in here, clean it up, and then we're gonna pull out anything that's stopping this from being perfectly smooth. All right, let's get this vacuum in here. Once you got it all vacuumed, you want to go back over with a pair of pliers and just pull out any of the staples or carpet remnants that are left over. You want a nice, clean, smooth surface to start with. Now when you come across the staples, if they're really far in, you can just tap them so they're not obstructing. Or if they're sticking out and they're grabbable, you just grab them with your pliers and pull them right out. Luckily, most of mine are tight and they're just hammering them in. So now we removed all the carpet. The area is fairly clean. It's hot in here. This is what your floor should look like, prepped and ready to go. And remember, when you're installing your flooring around this junction here, you want that flooring to stop right at the edge of that wood so that you can take those bottom screws out and remove this if needed. So inside here, you're gonna find this. This is what your post goes into so you could set up your table. I'm choosing to remove this, lay the flooring, and then put this on top of the flooring so it could still be used. The carpet went over top of almost everything, right up to this seam, and you could tell because it's just covered in glue. This piece, it's held down with these screws that have a rounded head that stick up and will obstruct your flooring. This stuff is super thin, so anything is, yeah, it's gonna mess it up. So what I've decided to do is duct tape this down on the seams. This isn't structural, it's actually here to protect the plumbing and wiring underneath. So by putting some duct tape over the seams, that's gonna hold it, it won't move, and then once you lay your flooring over top of it, it won't be an issue at all. Let's get a pry bar or a big flathead screwdriver, pry this guy out because the glue is just holding that seam. All right, so we're prying this guy out, and man, it is sticky. Lots of glue. Oh, jeez. Oh, whoa. Oh, that's butyl tape. That's what that is. Wow. Still soft. Huh, good for you, butyl tape. All right, we got our hole here. Oh, and that goes right outside. That's why they took such care to make sure it's sealed. All right, we're gonna do the same after we put the flooring in. So, all right, so put some duct tape on here and we'll start putting our slats in. Put a couple strips of duct tape while we're putting the floor in. And also give a nice little seal to that as well. And I think this is gonna look amazing. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So what's happening here is this metal is pushing up and it's making it really hard for this joint to connect. So I think what I'm going to do is take this out of here. I'm going to bring this piece all the way back to cover the entirety and then bring this piece to the front. But that's not going to work because I cut off the side that I would need to attach. So you can take the piece it just had, mark it, cut it, and then connect that piece onto that end of the board. Perfect. The last thing you want on the end here is to have come up just a ½ inch short and having to put a strip in there. If that happens, you got to go back to your first row, cut it in half, and then offset the loss on this side. But luckily, this size of flooring fits perfectly. I'll just have to cut just a little bit off to make it fit in that space, being sure to cut around this wooden in cove here so that gives you access to those Phillips screws. And yeah, let's get these last 3 pieces put in. Now when you get to this phase, you're going to want to make sure you come back here, mark out your hole, and make sure you cut your flooring to allow this guy to go back in. You can go a little extra wide. You don't have to make it super tight because you got about 2 inches of metal covering that up. So don't worry if it's ugly or if it's not perfectly matched to that hole. All right, so this back edge came out really nice. I'm going to replace this guy into place. There's still lots of butyl tape on there to hold her nice and tight. And now I'm going to take my drill, pre-drill some holes, and then put back the original screws. For the love of all things, I got antifreeze after I drilled my first hole. How is it possible I hit a pot? Oh, son of a... So look at this. I got a hole in... How? Like, you put this on, why would you... How did it not hit... Oh. Okay, it's the next day. So we're going to, I know I'm going to get killed in the comments for this and this, but just no judgment. Just, all right. Okay. I know. I know. So before I get destroyed in the comments, that water heater is coming out. These pipes won't be used. This is just a temporary fix just for this weekend while we're camping in Killbear. I just want to be able to use the water system with minimal chance of leaking. I'm going to get this floor put back in. get this all back in here, and then I'm going to cover this back wall with that flooring. Once that's completed, then I'm going to take off all the wood covers in here, get this all ready, and then I'm going to reinstall the electrical system and get the batteries put in, get the wires redone, get the inverter put in, the solar, everything. So that's going to be a whole job in itself. But yeah, as for this, the water heater is coming out. So I know. So if you're looking to do this yourself, here's the best tip I can give you. When you're putting this holder back into the floor, you have to have one screw at the very top fitting into that hole. When you place it in position, you put all the screws in, but you do not screw in the bottom screw. These ones line up, and this one's over the pipes. That was my first mistake. I drilled right into this one, right off the hop, right into that pipe. So if you do this job, you only put the screws in up at the top. You do not put the screw at the bottom. All right, and after 2 afternoons of working, we got all the flooring in here. I am gonna get some gray silicone and do all the edges in the trunk and in this area here. This is gonna make for a much neater space to install my electrical system. And for the finishing touches, we're gonna be using this light gray DAP caulking, and we're gonna do all the seams back here. I know, no one's ever gonna see this, but if you ever spill oil back here or something you're carrying leaks, you don't want it getting in behind that flooring and underneath. It'll never dry, it'll never get cleaned up. So, well worth the $12 that I spent for this tube of caulking. Inflation is out of control. All right, well, it was a little awkward in this space, but came out really good. All the way around there, all sealed up. The seams on the inside underneath the table here came out really nice, really clean. That whole back area looks great. Of course, no one's ever gonna see this, but it looks awesome. Yeah, great job. I hope this helped you and motivated you in removing all of your carpet from the back of the van and replacing it with laminate flooring. Easy to clean, dust free, don't have to worry about buildup of sand and dirt over the years. I'm really happy I took the time to do this job. So next up, electrical. Putting in an inverter, putting in an extra battery, rewiring everything, putting in some distribution power bars. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you. See you in the next one.